Hi everybody, this is Lynn from Creative Concept Crafts with this week's release, and it's another one that was a request, and it's a hat card. This one I'm doing an easel. I've also done a box which will also be released this week but under a separate video. So that's quite a sizable little box, great for jewellery, maybe for cookies or something like that. It's quite deep. But today we're actually going to be creating this cute little easel card with the hat on the front. So I've cut out all the component pieces. That's the base card. I've scored the lines, which make sure that they're burnished well down at this time. Try and get as much spring out as you can so that the card actually sits without the need to push it. So we've got the two mats for the front, we've got the two mats for the base which have got a flattened edge, and the two little easel support pieces. These are the pieces that we're going to be using to create the hat, but we'll talk you through those in a little while. So we're going to start off by just gluing together all the matte pieces. So the lemon is the base, the purple is matte 1, and the lilac is matte 2. So if you've got your file, that's the order that they're going in, if you're wanting to match up the colours or whatever. So there's about 1/8 of an inch matte that you can follow, so just get it even all the way around, and then I always flip over just to burnish the glue down. And I'm now going to add that to the base of the card. Just speeding this up on the video. And again, there's about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. Again, I'm turning over just to burnish in position. Oh, I found out, by the way, that the cardstock that I'm using, I didn't know the weight, but I have done a bit of delving investigation. I've actually found it's 220. So that's what I'm actually using for my flowers and for all my cards. Where I've got it, where I can get the colours I want, it is 220. So I'm going to now glue the actual base card itself minus the 1/8 of an inch round the little scallop. This piece fits right over, so there's no matte lemon will show on this layer. It's flush to the edge of the scallop, and that's because I'm putting lemon. The hat will be lemon coming over the top of it. So again, just burnish into position, and that, with the exception of the little support piece, that's the easel card completed. So we're just going to put a little bit of double-sided tape now on the back of these. These are 1mm little bits I've got, so I'm adding 2, so it gives me a 2mm lift between each layer. And I'm just going to add a little bit of the backing that's just come off on the back of the base piece, so that I can position without sticking to start off, so I can see where I want to put it. So it's up to you how far up or down you want to go. Personal preference, probably going 1.5 inches in, something like that, and in the centre. Just going to turn this round so that I can centre it. Just pop it into position. At the end of the video, I've actually added a sentiment onto the bottom of this, and that will also be included in the file. I hadn't actually done it at the time of doing the video, but I've done it since. Okay, now we're on to the construction of the hat. So we have decor pieces, we've got flowers, we've got an internal piece, we've got the lid, and we've got the hat piece itself. So you'll see it's like a fringe. There's a 3/4 of an inch, there's a dotted line, and then it's fringed. And then this is the lid, that's the matte layer, and that's the matte layer that goes round the hat. That piece will go to the inside to cover up all these little teeth from the top of the hat. So there's tab there, don't bend it back. This is a circle. If you bend it back, it'll flatten the circle. So what I did, I'll show you now, is just pull that down between your hand and the table. Just pull it down off your table and allow it to slide, and it'll come off in a circle. Can you see? So now we're just going to match up that little tab. It's just at the top. So just line up the dotted line and line it up to the bottom, and you'll see that those fringe pieces all match. I'm just adding a paper clip there until that dries, and I'm just tipping it upside down because that's the way we're going to add this lid piece. So you can see there's a dotted line all the way around. Just push those teeth down about 90 degrees from the top of your hat all the way, and then you're going to add glue to each of those teeth. So all the way around, and then tip it upside down so that the teeth are at the top, and just slide that down into the top of your hat. So those fringy pieces will move out the way for you to get that down, and just keep pushing down. Keep the brim bit flat at the same time as you keep the lid flat. What you don't want is any of those pieces sticking up on the right side. So if you can see, it's popping up a little bit, so I need to just make sure to remove the paper clip. Oops, certainly can't fit it with that on. So just push down so that none of those teeth gaps are showing at the top. And then once you're happy, flatten it down on your surface, and then you can push those teeth flat into the side of your brim. Takes a little bit of getting into position, but it's worth spending time at this stage. Started it with that, it's better off with your hand, because be careful it doesn't push it back out again as you're continuing. So I'm just rolling and pushing until all those teeth are fixed to the side. Don't worry if you don't get it absolutely perfect. There's a piece to put on top that'll cover up a multitude of sins. It's an option, of course, you don't have to put it on, but I quite like the decorative look. Okay, so that's that section completed. Now you can see there's a dotted line 3/4 of an inch down. Just bend all those fringes up at 90 degrees all the way around. Just push them up. And I'm just going to flatten it on the table, and I'm just going to go round and just score those a little bit sharper with my bone folder, just to take out a little bit of the spring. Doesn't have to be flat, but just get it down a little bit more than it was before you started. It's a little bit difficult for me to show this, but we're going to do a little bit of weaving. So you're going to bend one of the fringes, and the inside tip you're going to match up to the outside edge of the next fringy bit. Can you see the top tip there, the tip on the left, matches up to the edge of the far edge of the next fringe. Just don't fold it hard, but just fold it enough so it'll hold. Lift your next piece up over the top of that fold, and then you're going to repeat. So just bend it enough so that it's going to the far corner where your dotted line is, and just push down, but not too hard. It's quite difficult to get the angle of the camera there, but can you see? It's to the edge. It's the inner edge to the outer edge. Lift over the bit you've folded, bend up. If you look, I've got my finger at the bottom as I'm bending it over. And I'm not pushing hard because we have another little bit to do once we've got all the way around with this. I'm just going to turn this round, and I'm just going to, so I can see it a little bit easier, it's a little bit quicker. I'm just going to speed the video up because we have to do it a few times. So just continue all the way around until you've got all the pieces up and the last one tucked. Okay, now you could leave it like that, it will hold if you want to burnish down, but what I'm now going to do is just push the bit that's now at the back. I'm just pushing the edge until it comes up through to the right side. So it's just one corner, it's that top corner again nearest to the fold line, and I'm just pushing it through. Once you get hold of this, you'll be able to follow what I'm doing. It is rather difficult to catch it on camera because I don't have two cameras, unfortunately, to get close in. But what I have done is I've left a picture on the end of the video that does give a close-up of what you're trying to do here. So you'll be able to see that little tip just coming through on the right side. Once it's all done, I'm lifting it up to the camera so you've got a better idea of where it's going. So now I'm just pushing those, just burnishing those down a little bit more. Again, you can leave them with the spring if you want. It won't make any difference to the finish. Just give it a slightly different look. So all I've done there is just interlocked the piece that was at the back. I've just pushed it so that it's coming through on the front. Can you see? It's just push through all the way. So everything's interlocked, you don't need any glue. Okay, now we've got the teeth on the inside of the hat. So this piece is just to cover up those teeth. It doesn't give any extra strength or anything, it's just purely just to tidy up those teeth. There's no overlap on this. It should fit fairly snug. If everything's gone as it should have done when you created the brim, this should fit. If it doesn't, don't worry. A little overlap inside isn't going to be the end of the world. So just push. You can't use a bone folder because of the brim. And I keep picking my bone folder up and then thinking, oh, no, can't do that. And actually, what does that remind you of? We finished this, and if you just put the centerpiece on, it looks just like a sunflower. So there's another alternative for you there. It could be turned into a sunflower. So this is just a decorative piece. I'm covering up the joint. So I'm not jointing it over where the tab was joined. I'm going to get this level somewhere else. So again, just covering up and disguising. And this piece, again, will just meet exactly. There's no overlap. It will meet if everything's according to where it should be. But again, no biggie if it doesn't, because we've got flowers that will help to disguise any slight imperfections. Nothing's ever perfect, as much as we like to try, me included. So you have to be a master of disguise sometimes. So I've used glitter card here for the decor, and there we go. Look, you can just see it butts up to fit. And this piece I've added onto the top. Just looks like the seeds in the centre of a sunflower. Both my husband and my daughter said the same thing, and I'd thought it as I was doing the video. When I saw the picture, I thought, oh, that looks just like a sunflower. And then they said it, I thought, oh well, maybe it does. it's so, so pretty. I'm really pleased with this. As I said, this was another request through the competition that's on, and if you haven't entered, there's still a few more days left until the 30th of April to win a few of my files. Now I'm going to pop that on. This is going into a 6x6 box, so there's a little bit of wiggle room there. So I don't want to put it exactly flush over the mats. So I'm just going to sit it up that little bit. Can you see? So that's one of the boxes. As always, there's a second box option apart from the plain one. So I'm now going to add some hot glue, and it'll be about 3/4 of the way round. I'm going to add it to the brim. I don't want it down. You can do it down if you prefer it there, but I just want to lift it up beyond. So I'm just adding some hot glue round about 3/4 of the brim, just little dots on those panels. And then we can just add it where we want it and just push down for a couple of seconds until that hot glue just bites. And there's our easel card completed. I'm just getting rid of some excess hot glue strands there. Isn't that pretty? Can you see what I mean about the sunflower at this point? So now I'm going to add a few flowers, and these are from the Tiffany collection. They are the 2 smallest flowers, and I've done one next size up. So I'm just going to add these, and I made the box. The box is 1 inch deep, the hat's 3/4, so you can afford to come up just a little bit beyond the depth of the hat. So I've actually got one of the flowers on top, and it sits quite comfortably inside of the hat. There's a couple of little stars I'm adding there. They're also included in the file. There's stars, diamonds and hearts that are included, as well as, like I said, the sentiment. But if you look at the pictures at the end, you'll see that I've added a sentiment, and I also added an extra leaf onto the stopper. So there's one of the boxes, and there's the other box to match. That's our hat easel card. Look out for the box that's to come. I hope you've enjoyed it. Until the next time, bye for now.